We are back to our tea, to our high mountain oolong from Tian Chi in the Fushou Shan farm, and I'm going to brew now for the second brew, preheating warming my water again. Again, I don't know if you can see it, it's spring, it's even written in this little celadon plate. Spring is really one of the most important source of poetry in Chinese literature. It's really the season for the literati, for the poets, for tea. In the past, green tea was the only tea produced in China, and it was only produced during the spring season. At least for those who wanted the best quality, because of the weather that made the best aromas, produced the best aromas in the leaves before the Qingming festival, which was on April 5th. Now we are already past the Qingming festival, and this is when the oolong season is going to start. It starts after the green tea season because oolong teas are partially oxidized, and this means they need to be more mature leaves. If you harvest tea buds, they are really most suited for green tea process, but if you harvest them later, you will have to process them, oxidize them more, so that it's a bit like cooking. A very fresh fish you can eat raw in the sashimi, but if the fish loses a bit of its freshness, then maybe you want to fry it or grill it and eat it more well done. And it's a bit the same for the process of leaves. When they are more mature, you have to process them longer. Now, still very fresh, you don't want to oxidize them too much, like these high mountain oolongs, but the less freshness they have, like spring leaves, like summer leaves for instance, then the more you will process them until you get red tea, fully oxidized tea. Okay. Now second brew, let's be very, very slow. I'm not even going to pour on the teapot because the leaves have enough flavors to release now in the second brew. Okay. Sometimes the leaves are a bit stuck close to the spout. You can help by opening the lid a bit. Okay. So they were a bit stuck, and then sometimes you put your teapot a bit upside down, and the leaves go away from the spout, and the tea comes out more easily again. This part is unclogged. Et voilà. Our little boats. Okay, beautiful. Have a look at the color and transparency of this brew. It looks like jade. Very transparent, very shiny. Very sweet, and a long aftertaste, and it stays, it coats the whole palate with meadows, with small flowers. It's really a green, light spring feeling. Some lavender. Excellent. So in terms of technique, for the first brew I poured hot water on top of the teapot to make the leaves really open up. But since they were well opened for the first brew, I did not have to do it for the second, since the second the leaves are still full of flavors and don't need so much to be pushed. That's also why I brewed very, very slow and very short. And from the concentration that I get, I'm very satisfied with the result. That was a good way to go with this particular teapot. Now, every teapot is a bit different. Some really will absorb some more flavors, and you have to push them a bit longer. Some cool down faster, then maybe you have to add water on top. Also depends on your weather. So there are so many different factors that influence the way you brew that it's very difficult to give you an parameter, how many grams, how many minutes. It does not really make sense. Every time you have to adjust it also to the circumstances, to the particular teapot that you use, the strength you want, and be very focused on what you want, what you are getting, so that you can make always these adjustments. Voilà. And again, this Chabu now is more like a painting, so it's easier for the mind to wander and to imagine myself on this river or on these mountains. And it's imagination that is fostered by the tea. It brings you in the spirit of spring, thanks to the smells, thanks to the color, thanks to the light touch of the porcelain, a very pure touch. Also, what I always like, almost like a kiss. Like kiss. And of course, if you have a spring music, like Mozart's number 14 string quartet, it's every senses lead you to this spring spirit, and it was nice to have you. Sorry again for the interruption, but these things happen. That's why it's live, and I say maybe tomorrow.